Are we on the cusp of one of the greatest bull runs in history? We just eclipsed the 180-day mark post-halving. And if history rhymes, things are about to get out of hand and in a major way. Not only is time lining up for Bitcoin to break to new all-time highs, but there is a massive storm building for Bitcoin that makes this time feel, well, a whole heck of a lot different. The greatest trader in the world may be pulling a Soros on the US dollar. Coincidentally, at the same time, it looks like BRICS is about to nix Bretton Woods. And we got a clip you're going to want to hear because it eerily or bullishly seems like BRICS either already has or is well on its way towards adopting Bitcoin. This is massive, but it's just the tip. Stay until the finish because the US may be on the verge of abolishing taxes and adopting the Bitcoin standard. Welcome back. I'm Rustin. We are Simply Bitcoin, and it's time to send it. Why don't we get started with this news from Stan Druckenmiller? I mean, arguably the greatest trader in Wall Street history. And he is signaling caution on Wall Street, particularly regarding bonds. He believes that inflation, despite recent efforts by the Federal Reserve, is likely to persist, potentially making bonds a risky investment. Where have I heard that before?
You're a conflicted fucking fool. Please send this directly to Ray Dalio's email.
Druckenmiller been kicking it with Greg Foss, but Druckenmiller has shifted to shorting U.S. bonds, indicating, well, he expects a long-term bear market for them due to rising yields. Now that's interesting, especially knowing Stan's thoughts on Bitcoin. Roll it!
I have warmed up to the fact that Bitcoin could be an asset class that has a lot of attraction to as a store of value to both millennials and the new West Coast money. And as you know, they've got a lot of it. It's been around for 13 years, and with each passing day, it picks up more of its stabilization of a brand. So I own many, many more times gold than I own Bitcoin. But frankly, if the gold bet works, the Bitcoin bet will probably work better because it's thinner and more liquid and has a lot more beta to it.
Hey, Stan's bearish outlook on bonds and persistent inflation concerns align with his bullish stance on Bitcoin, which he views as a hedge against currency depreciation and economic instability, further reinforcing Bitcoin's role as a store of value in uncertain times. And in case you missed the news yesterday, PTJ, yes, Paul Tudor Jones, well, he's on the lifeboat with Stan.
You stabilize debt to GDP, you're still actually increasing your debt. It excludes the interest costs, which, oh, by the way, the interest bill this year is larger than every single line item except Social Security. It's larger than defense spending, larger than Medicare.
Are you off buying gold and Bitcoin?
I think all roads lead to inflation. I'm long gold, I'm long Bitcoin. If I had my cash, it'd be very short term. So yes, if we're trying to stabilize debt to GDP, we want to run the most dovish monetary policy that we can without letting inflation become too much of a tax on the citizenry. So yes, all roads lead to inflation. That's historically the way every civilization has gotten out, is they've inflated away their debt.
Absolutely massive news. And what is crazy or just logical is the timing. Because we have massive news out of BRICS, and we've been covering this for a long time, and it is here. Are we on the cusp of the end of Bretton Woods and the dollar global reserve status as we know it? And the greater question, is BRICS on the verge of aping into Bitcoin? Well, I want you to watch this clip and soak in what Vlad is saying, and you tell me.
You said that the dollar was used as a weapon. It is true, and we see that. I think it is a great mistake by those who do it, since the use of the dollar, which is still the most important tool in global finance, and its use as a political tool undermines trust in this currency, thereby reducing its capabilities. We are not the ones who do that. It's others. We are not rejecting the dollar or fighting against it, but if they don't let us work with it, what else should we do? We should seek other alternatives, and this is exactly what we do. We aspire to cooperation, but still we should understand that the longer we live and work under someone else's rules and on someone else's platforms, the longer the transition will take to build a new, fair economic financial system, and the more turbulence we will experience. Thank you very much for your work.
Hey, you tell me, but regardless, the historical significance of the BRICS summit is on par with the 1945 Bretton Woods Conference. I mean, look at this. A new monetary and financial order is taking shape, and not a peep about it in the Western media. Gee, I wonder why, but if you ask me, it sounds like BRICS is either there or very well on their way to figuring this out. And what does that mean for the US? Are we fooked as we know it? Not so fast, my friends. The US already holds the most Bitcoin, not to mention the ETFs and MicroStrategy. And well, it's on the cusp of purchasing between 100 to 500 Bitcoin a day as a strategic Bitcoin reserve. And it looks like, well, America's catching on too. Roll it!
In Pennsylvania, we're known for our steel, our spirit, and now our innovation.
We will ensure that the future of crypto and Bitcoin will be made in America.
And if America doesn't embrace it, we're going to be left behind.
Bitcoin means more jobs right here in Pennsylvania. It's about leading in technology, securing our financial future, and keeping Pennsylvania ahead. For jobs, for innovation, for Pennsylvania's future.
The government doesn't create jobs, Bitcoin does. And Texas, the Bitcoin mining capital of the world, is also getting after it.
I want Texas to be the oasis on planet Earth for Bitcoin and crypto.
Ted Cruz understands that embracing Bitcoin means giving the people more control over their financial future, not the big banks or the government. Ted Cruz will fight to make sure your money is your choice, secure, decentralized, and free from the government.
Oh, and would you look at that? The U.S. Department of Defense places Bitcoin soft war thesis under security review. Rocket's priced at $300. I mean, if you know, you know, there's no stopping this train. Look at Argentina shutting down their status tax agency. Imagine if something like that happened in, wait a minute. We have breaking news, possibly confirming the greatest bull run in the history of mankind. But before we bring it home, look at our likes!
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Hey, if you're digging the show, give us a like and subscribe to get the best in Bitcoin news coming your way daily. Help us spread the sound money gospel and give us a pap while we take a moment to recognize our sponsors, the masters of Bitcoin self-custody, the Bitcoin Way. Bringing over 25 years of experience in cybersecurity, the Bitcoin Way is your IT team in the Bitcoin world. They'll help take you from that why Bitcoin to the how Bitcoin. From setting up your first wallet node all the way up to inheritance planning, accepting Bitcoin payments for your business. They cover all aspects of Bitcoin security and privacy. They even work with their clients to configure routers, devices, and networks. Also, not to mention UTXO management, in short for everything in Bitcoin sovereignty and privacy related. They are your go-to source. Now, if you caught the last couple episodes, you know, well, the central banks are crying harder because Bitcoin destroys their ability to run permanent deficits. They said it themselves. Oh, how sad you can't leech from the populace anymore. Where's that tiny violin? Oh, it's beautiful music. Time to GFY, and it's also time for taxes to GFY too. Would you just look at that? Donald Trump's tax plan to exempt 93 million Americans from income taxes. I don't know exactly what the is happening, but I'm here for it. Remember when Germany lost all muscle control and panic sold their corn? Well, it looks like they're on their way towards repenting as well. Germany may buy back Bitcoin after their Samson Mao meeting. Why is everyone waking up to Bitcoin? What is it about Bitcoin? Well, it's simple. Bitcoin is unstoppable 10th grade math. You don't believe me? Maybe you know something that Steve Wozniak doesn't know. Roll it!
Our U.S. dollars, U.S. dollars, the government can just create new dollars and borrow. And it's like you never have it fixed. Like Bitcoin was the gold. Bitcoin is mathematics, mathematical purity. There can never be another Bitcoin created. Bitcoin doesn't even have a creator that we know of. Bitcoin isn't run by some company. It's just mathematically pure. And I believe nature over humans always.
At the end of the day, no one is mentally prepared for what is coming, and there is no stopping it. The ECB just admitted that basically, whether they tax the shit out of Bitcoin or attempt to ban it, well, $10 million Bitcoin is plausible. Make of that what you will. Silver and gold are at all-time highs. Bitcoin is next to move. Don't overthink it. Interest rates down. Election season here. Inflationary pressures growing. ETFs accumulating. It's a halving year, and the supply is dwindling.
MOS.
The bull market's here. Imagine where it will be in 1 year, 5 year, 10 years. Don't fade Bitcoin. That's like fading yourself. The global bond market is worth 120 trillion. And total global debt is 400 trillion. Imagine when these people understand Bitcoin, let's say 5% flows in, that makes 1 Bitcoin worth $1 million cuckbucks. Steady lads and strap the f*** in. Valhalla awaits. I'll catch you all next time. Peace!
If you prefer to go down with the ship, f*** you.